Hi guys! Hey, welcome to our first official lesson using our video system. Hopefully it works out and hopefully you can hear me. My family is sleeping right now, so I am using headphones so that I can talk a little bit more quietly. The first thing I want to say, I'm looking at our workbook here, my copy of the workbook, and the first thing that I want to say is I started giving the answer key on Monday. So if you look in this same folder or in this same slideshow on Monday, there are some answer keys starting on page 5 in your workbook. I didn't start all the way back at page 1 because I know that some of the patterns were a little bit confusing, but I don't want to spend too much time going back over that stuff. So I want you to go ahead and, if you had questions on something on, page 1 through 4, go ahead and ask me those questions at some point during my office hours. We're going to start to work that out so that I can host Zoom office hours, and I hope some of you will come and join me in there to ask questions and to get some stuff going through that format. But if you do look in there, page 5 through 8 has the answer keys. And what I would like to see from you is you taking the initiative to go back and check your workbook. See if you got any answers wrong. And if you did get answers wrong, see if you can figure out why you got those answers wrong. And see if you can then find out how to get the correct answer. So I want to encourage you to do that. If you see what the answer is and it still feels super confusing and you are thinking you aren't sure what's going on with it, please, please, please reach out to me during those office hours. Come find me on Zoom. We can talk like this. You can also call me, you can email me, whatever you need to get those questions answered. So between 11 to 1 is the best time to catch me, but if you have questions outside of that time, just hit me up with what you need. Also, feel free to call your classmates. I think that would be a really cool thing to do if you want to work through workbook pages together, or however you want that to work for you. Just make that happen how you want to see it fit. So go ahead and check over pages 5 through 8 with that answer key that I provided, and then let me know if there are things that are still feeling a little confusing. We are going to jump in to pages 9 and 10 today. So what that looks like for staying organized is on your daily workbook pages. It's Tuesday. You're going to write in pages 9 through 10. And on your note page, I don't want you to look at this stuff yet, you'll have page 9 to 10, 3, 31, 20. There are board problems on this page in your Google slide. I would love for you to take a little bit of time to do those board problems first, because the board problems go back to the stuff that we did last time. So if you want to, take a minute, pause this video, and sit down and do the board problems first. If you have already done the board problems, then you're fine and keep going with this video. All right. So we are jumping right in to checking your division when there's a remainder. We're starting to get into division a lot more. We'll have long division here pretty soon, but we need to start thinking about, well, how can we check and make sure that our division is right? So I have an example here. I'm actually just going to cover up. I wrote things down so that it would hopefully go a little bit more quickly. I have this division question here. 11 divided by 2 equals 4R3. And if you remember, that R stands for remainder. So 11 divided by 2 equals 4R3. What we did is we wrote out our 11 dots. right? And then it's divided by 2, so I started circling groups of 2. What do you notice about the end here? We want to decide if this division is correct or not. So how many dots are left over? I can look and see that there are 3 dots left over. Can we make another group of 2 out of those 3 dots? Yes, we can. So we can look up here, and 11 divided by 2 equals 4R3 is not correct. So we're going to cross that out, and we want to go ahead and find what the correct equation for that is. So now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 groups, and I have 1 left over, so 1 remainder. So 11 divided by 2 actually equals 5R1. All right. So we have a few statements here, and I want you to look at these statements with me and decide if they are correct or incorrect. A, we have 18 divided by 4 equals 4R2. For B, 18 divided by 5 equals 2R8. C, 18 divided by 3 equals 6R0. D, 18 divided by 3 equals 5R3. And E, 18 divided by 2 equals 8R2. F, 20 divided by 3 equals 5R5. So really quickly, just looking at these equations, there's a really simple way that we can figure out if they're correct or not. And the way that we do that is when you looked up here, your remainder, we had a remainder of 3, and we were dividing by 2. Can 2 go in to 3? Yes. So we know that there can't be a remainder of 3 because we can still include that 2, another group of 2 within that 3. Let's see. So let's look at A. 18 divided by 4 equals 4R2. We're dividing by 4. We have a remainder of 2. We cannot include another group of 4 in there. So our statement is correct. B, 18 divided by 5 equals 2R8. So we have a remainder of 8, and we're dividing by 5. Can we include another group of 5 in this 8? We can. So that one is incorrect. So 18 divided by 3 equals 6, remainder 0. We definitely cannot put another group of 3 in there. That one is correct. D, we have 18 divided by 3 equals 5R3. Can we include another group of 3 in that remainder? Yes, we can. 18 divided by 2 equals 8R2. And if you're catching on now, I want you guys to finish these last 2 on your own and decide if they're correct or incorrect. Remember, if you're writing these in your notebook, that's super helpful for you to come back to and look at later. So the biggest thing to remember is that you're checking whatever the number you're dividing by and the remainder, and that's how we can check division and make sure that we can't fit any more groups inside of there. All right, so the next thing that it's going to ask you to do is write a multiplication statement showing division with remainders. So what we have here is a division equation, right? We have 14 divided by 4 equals 3R2. So we have 14 dots divided by 4 groups, or divided by 4 dots, gives us 3 groups of 4 dots with 2 left over. So what I want you to do for this is see if you can use what we have here to write a multiplication statement using the dots that are in these groups. Oh good, that's the end of the stuff that I had written. So the way that we can do that is by looking at first the dots that are in groups. So let's just first look at these ones. So if we want to write a multiplication statement for these dots here, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 dots times how many groups? 1, 2, 3 groups. So 4 times 3 equals what? 12. Okay, so there are 4 groups, or 3 groups of 4 dots, and then how many dots are not in the group? We have 2. So our multiplication equation should look like 4 times 3, and then we can't forget about those extra 2 that are hanging out in there. So 4 times 3 plus 2 equals, how many dots did we have all together? 14. All right, so I was trying to find, I have a couple of little activities for you to do. Hopefully I can't find them. Oh, here we go. Sorry, they're not opening. Okay, well, I think I can show you another way. So go ahead right here. So we have A, B, and C. And what I want you to do is write, so for A, B, and C, write a multiplication and division. Oh, there it goes. It came up on the other side. Perfect. There's A, B, and C. Have division statement and a multiplication statement. Using the pictures to the side that are right here. So A, B, and C. And go ahead and hit pause on the video. I do want you to definitely make sure that you're doing this one in your notebook. Remember that when you're doing multiplication, you are going to have some addition because you have these dots that are left over. So don't forget to add in the addition portion of that. I should write that in there. Multiplication with addition. Okay, so write a multiplication with addition and a division statement. Okay. Whoops. So go ahead and pause the video really quickly and do that for A, B, and C. I'm actually going to stop this video while you do that, and I'm going to jump back in with another